We all know, who have studied history about the Second World War, that it was the Soviet Union who defeated Hitler and the Third Reich, and not the West. You can see it just alone by the number of divisions that Germany used. They used 250 divisions against the Soviets and only 25 divisions against the West. So it's a 10-to-1 deployment of military forces between East and West. And still, the Soviets managed to absolutely destroy the German Wehrmacht. So what the West was up against was just a tiny fraction of the German forces. And the same applies, by the way, to Japan. It was the Soviets who actually defeated Japan by defeating an army of 1.2 million Japanese soldiers in Manchuria at the end of the war. And the Japanese actually capitulated because they were afraid that the Soviets were about to invade Japan. I mean, they were ready to invade Japan, and that's why they capitulated.
What about the German ability to build an atomic bomb? A lot of people have been saying that actually that was quite advanced during World War II.
I can tell you that I've spoken a long time ago with one of the scientists who was involved in this project, and they actually did two atomic explosions during the war. One was done in the Lüneburger Heide, and one was done on one of the North Sea islands. They were comparatively tiny explosions. They were very far advanced. And the reason why the Americans, with the Manhattan Project, had a big problem, they didn't know how to ignite the atomic bomb. They didn't know how to ignite it. And that's why they had to wait until Germany was occupied and get the technology. That's why they were able to do the first explosion in July of 1945. They had to wait until they got the technology from the Germans.
So was Churchill right to be worried about an atomic bomb being on the end of a V2 heading for London?
Absolutely, sure. But not only a V2. The Germans had the 4-engine bombers who were able to hit New York. They would have been able to also hit the east coast of the United States.
So why didn't the Nazis use the atomic bomb if they had it then?
Because Hitler did not put much priority on that for some strange reason. He didn't prioritize the atomic weapon. Maybe he didn't understand it or something. He also didn't give much resources to this development.
So I guess the people of London in the 1940s and New York should be very glad that they didn't get nuked.
In a way, yes. Well, then the Japanese got it. The bombs were dropped on Japan.
Do you think there's any likelihood of a nuclear war with the North Koreans? Is that real or is it just rhetoric?
No, it's not real. Because if America does anything, then South Korea and also Japan is gone. There are 35,000 American soldiers in South Korea. They will be all dead.
Is there anything positive you see around the world for the next year, 2018?
Well, I see a positive. I see that China and Russia are working together with Iran, and also India is coming into play. They have definitely going away from the dollar as a dominant currency. What definitely is happening is that America is a declining imperium. You know, it's a declining power.
Aren't declining powers dangerous?
Sure they are. They can think that maybe as a last resort, let's throw some bombs around the place. You see, the problem is that a lot of people are not taking America serious anymore. I mean, you saw it when Obama visited China. The Chinese didn't even roll out a set of stairs to his Air Force One plane. They didn't give him stairs so that he could step out of his plane. That means there is no more respect for America. It's lost a lot of its credibility, and especially now regarding Syria. I mean, the winner is definitely Russia, and everybody knows what they can do now, right? I mean, what we have seen is that Russia used Syria to test its weapons, to improve the whole military. It was a testing ground because there's always a difference between theory and practice. And they have used this war to show the world also what they're capable of. And their electronic capabilities are far beyond what the West can do. Electronic warfare, they are really number one in that area.